Hey, what's up? Good afternoon, night, evening, morning, wherever you decide to tune in to watch this. I've decided, you know what? I think it's about time I tackle up the podcasting point of YouTube. Because I've already done video game let's plays, I've done video game reviews, and now I want to do nerd culture type thing. I guess this will be under pop culture because I don't know if you'd be considered a nerd if you still watch it. I don't know, but this is my podcast series on Star vs. the Forces of Evil, the Disney XD TV show that I feel like is up there with shows like Gravity Falls, which I feel like after this I should probably do a Gravity Falls podcast or whatever. But I'm going to be mainly doing TV shows, movies, video games, and kind of giving like. And I want to do like newer video games because I still wanted to. I'm still going to do video games in general. But if you guys want me to continue doing podcasts, please leave something down below. Tell me how you think a podcast will look, and then I will go and do it for you guys because, yeah, this is kind of a test. Yeah, you can tell that this is not scripted also, so I'm going to be, like, stumbling over my words, and that's not my problem, it's just the problem, the fact that I can't, I'm trying to get a point across, and I will try to. I do have at least the majority of season 1 under my belt, and so for the podcast, I'm basically going to be going by these by seasons. And so, yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. By the way, this will have spoilers, warnings for all the seasons. I say all the seasons, those 4 seasons, at least on Hulu, and I think they ended it with season 4, so. Let's get right into it. I haven't done one of these before, so I guess we'll start by how I got introduced to the series. Well, it was actually around this same time last year when my brother actually started watching it at my Mimi's house, which is my mom's mom. Our family calls her Mimi. And so we were, my brother and was house sitting for her, and one time he just popped up on the TV and he started watching it. And he's all like, "Hey, this is very interesting." It is very interesting. That's the best way I can describe that show. It's very interesting. Like it's basically taking all the quirky aspects of shows like Phineas and Ferb and Gravity Falls and kind of just mixing it into one. At least that's the best way I can describe how it is set up. The story is actually so far, and I'm only halfway through season 2 right now at the time of this recording, and so when it comes down to like the story, it's pretty good considering that it doesn't really do much to start off with, but yeah, so the main plot of this show, at least so far, season 1, well, at least how season 1's concerned, is that Star is a princess from another dimension, and she was recently given a magic wand. I almost forgot what it was. The reason I keep forgetting what it is because it like every time someone picks it up, it transforms into whatever they think it is. So I'm pretty sure if it get given to me, it'll be one of 3 things: the Master Sword, the Buster Sword, or the Keyblade. Whatever one. I mean, I'll be fine with either, and all of them do magic in some way. If you think about it. Yeah. So Star is given this magical task, and the people of Planet Muni. That's the planet that Star is from. They don't see Star ready yet to like fully take over the role of a I guess saying queen. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. So they just send them to Earth. They're like, "Yeah, you don't know how to work your magic. We're going to send you to a safer place called Earth." Meanwhile, Star keeps referencing basically a prison for behaved students or whatever, behaved princesses. St. Olga's Reform School. That's what it is. And it basically makes this as like the most horrible place to go. And we'll get into that in a second. I will be bouncing it off different episodes of S1 just because I keep trying my best to kind of keep this a bit short depending on how the day you having. You want to tune in, listen to me talk about this, but besides the point. So Star ends up going to basically going to Earth and going to Echo Creek, which is the main hub, if you will, the main like point of this story. and he meets up with a kid named Mako Diaz, which is part of the Diaz family, which they have a history of like bringing like foreign exchange students. And also, one thing that you're gonna know straight out the bat is that no one cares the fact that Muni's from another dimension. Heck, so far, like, no one's actually caring about the fact that she has a magical wand, and we'll get into its capabilities later on. But at least for like the first 5 minutes of the episode, you could tell that like she could up and summon the rainbow and lit it on fire. I mean, you could do whatever you want, and like no one questions it. They're like, okay. Literally, the first part of the episode when they get to the principal's office, while Star's getting checked in and everything, the principal initially was all like, no, we're not even going to deal with her. And then the freaking kings are like, you know what, here's all this gold. And they're like, okay, fine, whatever. I'm like, oof. I mean, it is a Disney show, and I don't like to depend on them being like, oh, you should. But, you know, this is also coming from a guy that has fallen in love with Disney X, with more of Gravity Falls than Disney XD. I don't understand half the crap that they have up nowadays. Like, they have a knockoff Simpsons. I don't know what it's called, but it's literally a knockoff Simpsons. If you guys know what I'm talking about, please tell me in the comments, because I don't even know what that it's called. But yeah. So Star basically ends up basically trying to fit into this new world. I say fit in. Actuality, she doesn't. The second episode, because it has kind of a Phineas the Ferb type of thing where it has 2 episodes in one. So the second episode, or at least the second part of the first episode, Star meets up with her old friend Ponyhead, because Ponyhead just happened to transfer, like, go through a alternate dimension thanks to the dimensional scissors. And I think that's awesome. I don't know, scissors, I don't know about scissors, maybe like a grenade, maybe like a portal. I mean, I don't know what you will call it, but that's my only complaint about that. And so, yeah, dimensional scissors, okay. I mean, I'm fine with that. To go travel through different dimensions. And they have a good night together, all while Ponyhead is being a total jerk to Mako, because Mako is all... Because, Star goes like, oh yeah, this is my best friend, Mako, and Ponyhead's just like, you know what? No, he's not. He is just some boy with a ridicule. I can't even do a voice very well. I can't do a voice of justice. But yeah. Anyway, she doesn't like him, and so throughout the entire episode of bickering and fighting, until one point Mako gets left at a arcade where a bunch of military-esque goons basically kidnap Mako, and it's up to Star and Ponyhead to go back and save him. Until Ponyhead decides, you know what, I should probably tell the truth, and she says that she was actually having to get sent to St. Olga's. And so she's over there. And then throughout there, that's kind of the last place where the story kind of pauses. I mean, there is other episodes that will, like, connect to, like, more so with it. But for this podcast, I'm mainly focusing on the episodes themselves. Like, the story itself instead of the mini episodes. There is other characters like Jackie, which is Mako's kind of crush that he has on this girl forever. There is there's the one stupid troll. Okay, the one character I actually despise in Star, which I think I might have said in a live stream. I don't remember. But the one character I really don't like is I can't think of his name. But it's the guy that's inside the book, the magical because Star got a book for her wand, and so yeah. She got that stuck. And I guess I should have way brought up, I almost forgot. But the main plot of this, like the main plot of almost every episode is the fact that there is this guy named, crap, why can't I think of these guys' names? Ludo, that's his name. Oh my gosh, how did I forget his name? He's like the most it's like the Koopalings in the Mario series. It's like Dr. Eggman, the Sonic series. You don't just forget what they're called. But yeah, Ludo is one of the main bad guys that you're going to be seeing a lot throughout the show. Even throughout season 2. This is like a full like 3 episodes in season 2 where he's like one of the main focuses, and that's what kind of drew me away. But we'll save that for season 2. So yeah, Ludo is of course after the wand because the wand obviously has magical powers, and obviously with great power comes great thievery. So anyway, back to the main plot of the story. So Ponyhead is now in St. Olga, and on her birthday, Marco and Star and Mako end up going to the St. Olga's dimension, which you can't exactly use magic inside the walls, which, okay, that always sounds like a video game type thing. Like, you can use, it explains, like, some of the fast traveling, like, you can't just fast travel to the, foot gates of Gaines Castle in Breath of the Wild. You have to actually walk up there. It's like that type of thing. Like, you can't exactly use magic to whatever you wanted to. And so inside St. Olga, it has a magical pull type thing that it can't activate magic. So yeah, and the woman there is convinced that no one should have individuality, and they also act like a princess. And if this was a normal Disney movie, I mean, I would definitely love to see Star as a normal Disney movie. Like, if it ever comes, like, I don't know how I'll feel with the shift to like a 3D, or if they keep it 2D or 2.5D kind of thing. Well, like it's kind of 2D, like they did with the MLP movie, the My Little Pony movie. I actually really love the animation, by the way. And yes, I've said before, but I'm a brony. I mean, I haven't seen too much. I haven't seen at all of season 9 of My Little Pony, but I have in fact, and I'm not as big of a fan of my brother, but I do in fact enjoy the show. I mean, it's no secret. I mean, you have to think about it. Like, it's kind of, like, I did a full AMV on that back when I had Movie Maker, but I'm getting completely off subject. So back on subject. So Saint Olga, the main woman there, which I'm assuming, I'm trying to remember her name. I think her name is Olga. I'm trying to remember, but she wants to make sure everyone acts like a princess, and when she acts, and so it's up to Mako and Star to go save Ponyhead. But as soon as they find Ponyhead, she realizes she's always starting to act more like a princess, and she was kind of like, the happy-go-lucky pony. She's like Pinkie Pie and Rainbow Dash mixed. I mean, I always said I was a boy, so I can make that observation. But she's like two ponies basically formed together to be like this happy-go-lucky pony, and they're trying to tell her to something that's not. And then Mako does the... Oh, yeah, by the way, I'll throw this picture up. This is Mako in a dress, mind you. So this is Mako in a dress. This is actually the outfit that he wears 90% throughout this entire episode. And so he actually ends up starting a revolution saying it's not criminal to be an individual, which sounds like it's a start to like a rap album, It's not criminal to be an individual. It's not criminal to be an individual. I don't know. I have no idea. But anyway, back to the main story. So they end up escaping, and everyone starts joining in forces. But it turns out that the Saint Olga may have alternative motives, and she could potentially be a bad guy. But moving right on, alongside the last 2 or 3 episodes before the end of season 1 is really where the story starts to kind of pick up. There was this one character that came in. He was way forgettable. I honestly don't remember his name, but he was like an alligator type guy. He basically kicked Lulu out of his own castle, Mario RPG style, and then he basically took control of his minions, and with that, he had Bell monsters to go and basically steal, kidnap Mako, and so he has Mako captive. It's up to Star to go save him, but in order for him to save him, he has to basically deactivate the wand. With that being said, she had to remember a special melody to basically kill the wand. Yeah, by the way, something that you should probably take note is the fact that the wand is kind of a live substance. But yeah, the live substance. I cannot speak English. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, it is kind of a live entity. It has its own live has a live pony in there. And they said a number of times throughout the show, if the wand dies, it dies for good. And so at the very last minute, I say the very last minute before he basically kills Marco by squishing him inside of a glass thing, he whispers this melody to it, or this poem, and it kind of just disappears, and a giant explosion happens, destroying Ludo's castle, and ends up hatching up a new Ludo from a egg from because later in the episode he got eaten by a chicken type creature. The chicken creature laid an egg, and then right at the egg came up a new Ludo appeared. Yeah, this show, again, I'm not even really scratching as much as the nutty side of it, as much as I'm just trying to get the story across for the podcast. I will talk about some of the nice stuff here in a sec, but that's kind of where the story ends for season 1. They kind of just go back to their home. But with that being said, part of Star's wand is gone, basically. There's no... there's a crack inside of her star, because there was one piece of the wand that worked and one piece of the wand that did. And we won't get into that until season 2 so far, because that's where we are at season 2 of Star vs. So I'm going to refer to it as Star vs. just because saying Star vs. the Forces of Evil is a long, ridiculous title that I don't think really needs that, but... yeah, what do I think of the first season? Well, from a story perspective, the story is actually really good. And I feel like if Disney tried hard enough, they could have made this into, like, their own movie series, if you will. Like, I would definitely love to see at least them attempt a movie series at this. Like, kind of like even if it has to be live action, or if they could do it in the cartoony-esque way, I would definitely love to see a live action adaptation of Star, if they ever plan on doing live adaptations of stuff like Phineas and Ferb or whatever. And like, and knowing Disney, they'll most likely do that, and I know there's gonna be so many people that are going to be like hating me just for the sole fact of it. But let me just tell you, Disney, yes, has the right to, of course, do that, but let me just tell you, some live action stuff is not half bad. It's most of the time it's almost note for note. So if they ever decide to either do a 2D animated or a 3D animated or live action adaptation of it, it's an adaptation. It doesn't mean it's the official thing. It doesn't mean it's the original thing that they're copying off of. And I'll get to a whole other podcast probably about that, because that was something that way bugs me when I hear people talk about, oh, why is the live action Aladdin not faithful to the original? It's its own adaptation. You really don't think that, like, you have to take it for what it is, basically, okay? Like, the original story of Aladdin isn't, Robert Williams wasn't in it, so you can't really, like, get on to people about, oh, well, the original line, like, you don't even know. I mean, to be honest, we don't know that it could be Robert Williams that was doing that to begin with, but, yeah, so that's Star vs. the Forces of Evil Season 1. I do highly recommend watching it. If you guys are all interested, it's on Hulu. You have to pay for it, but it's on Amazon, and it's on, I'm assuming, YouTube. You can watch YouTube bootleg, so I don't support that, but, Yeah, whatever. It's his own thing. Yeah, some of the funny scenes in there consist of like a karate tournament. They have a whole Venom thing going on where basically Marco hurts his hand. Star tries to activate a like healing spell on it to like basically heal the hand. And instead gets a tentacle arm similar to like a squid that has a mouth that talks to him, and he uses that, and he's kind of like Spider-Man in a way, and he has like the whole like Venom type mindset, and it's kind of funny just from the sole fact that he's in karate with this giant like hand, and no one's caring about it. It's amazing. And then obviously he does fix it. Then there's the relationship between Jackie and I was about to say Soy. His name's not Soy. His name's Mako. The thing is with Mako and Jackie, I can see a good relationship going. I just don't really feel it. Obviously, it's known from day one that Star was going to be with him, and so for me to like believe that he has this relationship, obviously I'm not like when it comes to ships and stuff. I have my personal ships. If you guys want to ship whoever, it's alright. But I mean, I have my opinion, and this is my opinion. Whatever. You could deal with whatever opinion else you want. But yeah, that was an English sentence. But yeah, what. I think I'm done kind of like rambling because I feel like I'm rambling right now. I really hope you guys enjoy my podcast review of I was about to say Mega Man. This is not Mega Man. My podcast review of Star versus the Forces of Evil season 1. I will try to do a season 2, and I will make a playlist of Star podcasts. But in terms of podcasts in general, this is just the start of it because I actually have a couple podcasts I like to go and get off the ground. So yeah. Anyway, I'm the Gaming Trouge. Have yourselves a great night and keep gaming.